This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Please, may I come in, sir?
Please come.
Thank you.
Come.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Come.
Thank you.
Ketki, please sit. I just had a brief chat with her outside while she was sitting there. So, Ketki, we're very happy that we're talking to you, a trained civil engineer from the best college in Pune, the oldest college of engineering. That's one of the oldest colleges in probably India.
Yes,
And thereafter, you went and did construction management in Ahemdabad.
Yes, sir.
1 year course?
2-year course, sir.
And then also applied it in a job or two.
Yes, sir.
And now a probationary officer in Mahabaleshwar. Why is near Mahabaleshwar?
Yes, sir.
Right. Very good career, very good background. But tell us, you've written this exam quite a few times, and you've also been interviewed, as you were mentioning outside. What is it that makes you look forward to a career in the civil service?
So I have worked in the corporate sector. I have also worked in the social sector. I have a fairly basic understanding of both the sectors, how they work. But what attracts me towards a career in civil services is the job content and the job context, sir, both. And having a dynamic, rule-based work environment where everybody is working as per the laid down rules and regulations. That is something that I really look forward to in having in an organization. And the diversity and the challenges that are there in front of a civil servant in the course of the duty. So those are the things that excite me and motivate me to keep pursuing this.
You know, your earlier assignment was with KPMG, and now you are with the State Bank of India. They are also fairly well-run professional organizations, consultant in KPMG and then State Bank of India probationary officers. They are almost like, sometimes we feel that these big four, of which KPMG is one, they are also large, hugely bureaucratic. They also have their own norms and rules, and State Bank certainly does. It's a cross between a private bank and a government system. So if you are getting paid more in the State Bank of India and you would have been paid more in KPMG than what the government service of public service offers you, and in public service today you in both these organizations you can run them professionally, what is right, wrong. But once you join a public service like the IAS or the police, something, you would be constrained for performing as per what you want. One, political interference, and second, you would also not be so well provided financially or others. So I'm not able to appreciate what is it that you know about the civil service that which makes you feel that this is a better profession to be in than where you are or you have been.
So while growing up, I was involved in many extracurricular activities where my administrative skills, leadership skills were honed. And I have tested myself in situations where I have to play the role of a leader or an administrator, handling small or larger assignments. I feel that I am more suited for a job like that rather than being categorized into one particular sector, say a banker or the finance field. Those are anyways not my core areas, but I am learning and I'm enjoying and I'm also doing well. But I identify myself corely as an administrator or someone who can get things done. Adding to that, sir, being a civil servant gives me an immense platform to work directly for the public, which was somehow lacking in my corporate sector job. So that is another motivation for me to join the civil services rather than staying with my corporate job or the current one.
Any family connection with anyone in public service?
No, sir. I would be the first in my family and for the past generations also.
What was your father doing or mother?
So my mother, she's a gynecologist. Now
doctor.
she is no longer practicing. And my father, he was a professor of mechanical engineering.
Not in Pune, your college?
No, sir, no. In a local college in Amravati, my hometown.
Okay, so you have interacted enough with public servants or about public service to know that it's a better area than where you are?
So when I was working with my second job, that was Kasturba Solar Khadi Mahila Samiti. It was a project which was initiated by KVIB for that matter, Maharashtra KVIB. And at that time, I got the opportunity to work with the district administration or see how they were doing the project in Melghat area. So that is when I realized how influential the role of administration is in bringing about some ground level change, or at least initiating that change. And once the balls get rolling, then the change happens on its own.
Melghat in Wardha?
In Amravati district.
In Amravati, it falls.
So that was when I first time closely interacted. And the officer from KVIB who was overseeing that project, he acted as my mentor also. And that is when, sir, my notions were further affixed, sir, that I should pursue this.
Mr. Pranik.
So, can you tell us about the reasons of US banking system crisis?
So, since you're referring to the recent SVB crisis, sir, and vis-a-vis comparing it with our Indian banking system also. So the SVB crisis happened because, or rather overall, the regulatory norms in the US banking system, they are perhaps not that strong to have prevented the failure of banks time and again, once in 2008.
Are you saying RBI is better than their Federal Reserve? You are saying this?
Sir, if we have to draw a direct comparison, I would say the regulatory norms here in India, over the period of time, they have improved. And right now, so far, no major Indian bank has failed to the scale and level that we see in the West.
So many cooperative banks have failed in your state?
Yes, sir. So cooperative banks are a friction point for us, and the reforms are undertaken for that, sir. But the big major banks, sir, so far we have not seen any major crisis.
An impact that you see on Indian banking system that we may have from USA crisis?
So there are talks that there can be a repeat of the aftermath of the 2008 crisis. After Silicon Valley Bank failure, a few startups that were funded by SVB, they are also under the scanner, what would be their profitability and all. But so apart from that, my knowledge is limited to that. What could be the further impact?
What was the last reported retail inflation rate in our country?
Sir, I'll have to look it up. I cannot recall.
If I give you a situation that the rate of inflation in USA is higher than rate of inflation in India, what does it tell about US economy?
So if the inflation rate is higher, then there is a certain demand-supply mismatch, and the root cause of that would have to be looked into. And whether the inflation is because of, whether it is the core inflation or whether some other factors are at play, that would also have to be looked into, sir.
This year we see the almost right kind of conditions in France. Pension reforms are a problem there. What exactly are the issues involved?
Yes, sir. Recently the news was that the age of retirement would be increased. So that would mean that the existing workforce would have to work longer, and French people, they like to enjoy their life. So there is a negative backlash because of that.
Only French people want to enjoy their life, or?
Sorry, perhaps
they
everyone,
like to enjoy more. This is what she meant.
if given an option, anybody would perhaps take it, the general public. But in case of France, that was so. So they would have to extend their work life, and that is one concern, and that is why there is a backlash for that primarily.
So,
Thank you, sir. Hello, Ketki.
Hello, sir.
So you're from Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
What is Lavani? Lavani dance, you call it?
Yes, sir.
Lavani. There is a controversy going on that some political parties are saying that Lavani dance shouldn't be performed, at political gatherings. Are you aware that this kind of controversy is going on?
Sir, I'm not aware of this political context of it, but Lavani has always been viewed and much discussed folk art form in Maharashtrian society, sir.
There is a hearing going on regarding same-sex marriage. What is your opinion? Should judiciary decide this, or should the change come from the parliament?
So this is a very critical question that a society as a whole has to look into. The incumbent government is not in favor of going ahead with this reform or change. However, if we have to quote the historical background of our country, then this was, or having the same-sex relationship was always there. It was during the colonial times when this was given a different kind of picture and it was a tabooed practice. So, if there is no problem with individual decency and privacy, then perhaps as an evolving dynamic society, we should certainly look forward to this change and welcome it the way it should be welcomed, rather than making it again a very taboo kind of a thing.
I didn't get it. My question was, should it be parliament or should it be judiciary?
Yes, sir, sorry. Sir, in this case, I would say the legal reform should come from the parliament because they are the direct representative of the people. However, the judiciary, in our case, our judiciary has been very active in pushing certain reforms, so they also have their role to play in this. Perhaps they can nudge it and the parliament can
take the lead.
Okay.
Sir. All right. Thank you. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ketki, what is the meaning of your name? It's a very interesting name.
So Ketki is the name of a flower. It's a cream-colored flower, and the perfume kevda that is extracted from that flower, sir.
All right. And where is this flower found?
It is usually found in the coastal areas, sir, primarily in Odisha and West Bengal, and also Maharashtra.
Okay. And yesterday it was your birthday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what according to you is the ideal way to celebrate one's birthday?
Prepare for the interview.
Apart from that?
Sir, ideal way would be just to sit and introspect, have some time for yourself, how I have spent the previous years and how I want to spend the next, and the rest of it with your loved ones. But being your own birthday, you should have some time for yourself also.
Okay, very good. Will you tell us something about the role of women in India's national freedom struggle?
So women have always been involved at some or the other aspect. Be it during Shivaji's time, the role of Jizabai was important. So maybe she was not directly actively involved, but involved in nurturing a freedom fighter, sort of. Later on, we have yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we also, I'm forgetting the name, sir. Excuse me.
Even if you don't remember the name, you can tell what they did.
Yes, sir. So, women have played the role of bringing out that nationalistic or social consciousness amongst people that they need to go beyond and fight for the freedom. And sir, in the modern history times, we see Kalpana Vadedar, then we see females who are involved in the Quit India movement during the operating of radios, picketing of shops, and also in the Khadi movement, sir, and the Salt March. So in all of these movements and incidents, women were involved, sir.
So did they get their due share after independence of their hard work, their labor?
Sir, I think they did not do it because they wanted some sort of recognition or share, but as a society, we certainly should admire and try to inculcate the values that they stood for, and that is how they would be getting their due share and recognition, sir.
Why do you think the representation of women is so low in the higher judiciary?
Yes, so that is one area where the representation or the due share, if I have to connect, is not much. So perhaps because law has mainly been the domain of the males, and women, it took a long time for women to come to the level of education or enjoy those privileges as men. So, but then the scenario is changing, and now more women are participating in the judiciary. It is a work in progress, and I can't wait to see the day when we have a Chief
In what
Justice.
ways we can improve the share?
So we can have, say, maybe for starters, a reserved share for women in the judicial services. And we need to do some encouragement of women to pursue law, just like we have the STEM program for engineering and this. So for judiciary also we can have.
Thank you, Ketki. That's all from my side.